He arrived at the airport 3 hours early. His suitcase was packed. His passport was ready. His ticket was confirmed. Everything looked perfect. Everything felt under control. And honestly, he believed the hardest part of the trip was already over. But then, something shocking happened. The airline refused to let him board the plane. One simple mistake destroyed months of planning. Thousands of dollars were suddenly at risk, and his nightmare was only beginning. The traveler's name was Bilal, 31 years old, married, a software engineer, and preparing for the biggest international trip of his life. For nearly a year, he had planned everything carefully. Vacation approval from work, hotel reservations, flights, travel insurance, tourist attractions, even restaurant lists. Everything had been organized perfectly. At least that was what Bilal believed. The destination was Europe, a dream vacation. Paris, Amsterdam, Rome, cities he had wanted to visit since childhood. The excitement felt overwhelming. His family celebrated before departure. Friends wished him luck. Social media posts were already prepared. Everything pointed toward an unforgettable experience. Then reality arrived. The morning of departure felt exciting. Bilal barely slept. He checked his passport repeatedly, verified his ticket multiple times, confirmed his hotel reservations again. Everything looked fine, completely fine, or so he thought. The airport looked busy. Long lines, families, business travelers, tourists, everyone focused on reaching their destinations. Bilal joined the airline check-in line confidently. His suitcase rolled smoothly behind him. His documents sat neatly inside a folder. Everything seemed normal. The airline employee greeted him politely. She requested his passport, then his ticket, then additional travel documents. Bilal handed everything over immediately. The employee typed information into the computer. For a moment, everything appeared routine. Then something changed. The employee stopped typing. Her expression became serious, very serious. Bilal noticed immediately. A feeling of concern entered his mind. The employee looked at the screen, then looked at Bilal, then looked back at the screen again. Several uncomfortable seconds passed. Then came 4 words Bilal never expected to hear. "You cannot board." His heart instantly dropped. He thought he misunderstood. Surely there was a mistake, a computer error, a misunderstanding, anything. But not this. He smiled nervously and asked the question most travelers would ask. "What do you mean?" The answer changed everything. His passport validity did not meet airline requirements for travel. Bilal froze, completely froze, because his passport was not expired, not even close. The expiration date was months away. How could there be a problem? Most travelers never realize something important. Many countries require passports to remain valid for several months beyond the travel date. Not beyond departure, not beyond arrival, beyond the entire trip. This catches thousands of travelers every year, and unfortunately, Bilal had never researched it. The airline employee explained calmly. The destination country required additional passport validity. Without it, boarding would be denied. Immediately. No exceptions, no negotiation, no discussion. Bilal felt sick, physically sick. Months of planning, thousands of dollars, dream vacations, everything suddenly looked uncertain. The airline employee apologized, but airline staff follow regulations, not emotions, not personal circumstances. Regulations. And regulations were now standing between Bilal and his dream vacation. Most travelers believe airport problems happen to careless people, people who forget passports, people who miss flights, people who ignore requirements. But reality is different. Even organized travelers make mistakes. Small mistakes, simple mistakes, expensive mistakes. Bilal stepped away from the counter. His mind raced. Hotel reservations, flight costs, vacation time, travel insurance. Everything suddenly became a financial calculation. Could the trip be saved? Could documents be updated? Could flights be changed? Questions filled his mind. And honestly, panic slowly replaced confidence. He contacted the airline customer service desk, then immigration information services, then travel agencies, then anyone who might help. Hours passed. Hope slowly disappeared. Every answer sounded similar. The rules were clear. The airline could not allow boarding. The destination country requirements had to be respected, and that was final. Most travelers never realize airlines face heavy penalties when transporting passengers with incorrect documents. That is why airline staff often become stricter than travelers expect. They are protecting themselves too, because if a traveler arrives without proper documentation, the airline may face fines, additional costs, and responsibility for returning the passenger. That reality surprises many tourists. Bilal eventually sat alone near the departure gates, watching other travelers leave, watching aircraft depart, watching families begin vacations. And honestly, that moment felt devastating. Not because of the airport, not because of the airline, because of one overlooked detail, one small detail, a passport validity requirement. The financial impact became clear quickly. Flight tickets, non-refundable hotels, train reservations, tour bookings, everything suddenly became uncertain. Some expenses could be recovered, others could not. The numbers started adding up, hundreds, then thousands. The emotional pressure became overwhelming. Most travelers focus heavily on finding cheap flights, cheap hotels, cheap travel insurance. But many never spend enough time verifying entry requirements. That creates enormous risk, because one missing requirement can destroy an entire trip before it even begins. Bilal later discovered another painful truth. Travel insurance often does not cover every boarding denial situation. Many travelers assume insurance automatically reimburses everything. That assumption becomes dangerous. Coverage depends on policy wording, specific circumstances, document requirements, exclusions, and claim conditions. Some policies help, some do not. Understanding those differences matters enormously, especially before traveling. Bilal reviewed his insurance documents carefully, for the first time, really carefully. And honestly, he realized something important. Most people buy insurance without understanding it. They focus on purchasing, not understanding. That habit creates problems later, very expensive problems. Eventually, Bilal contacted his insurance company. The representative reviewed the situation, asked questions, requested documents, and explained policy limitations. The conversation felt frustrating, because there were no guarantees, only possibilities. And possibilities do not reduce stress. Certainty reduces stress. Something Bilal no longer had. As the day continued, friends started calling. Families started asking questions. Everyone expected travel photos, airport updates, excitement. Instead, Bilal explained boarding denial, again, and again, and again. Each conversation felt painful, embarrassing, emotionally exhausting, because explaining a preventable mistake hurts, especially when the consequences are expensive. Most travelers underestimate emotional costs. Financial losses hurt, but disappointment hurts too. Lost opportunities hurt. Missed experiences hurt. Watching dreams disappear hurts. And honestly, those emotional costs often feel worse than money. The airport slowly emptied. Flights continued departing. The vacation he had planned for a year was disappearing in real time. That reality felt surreal, almost impossible to believe. One document, one requirement, one overlooked detail. That was all it took. Many travelers think visas are the only important documents. They are not. Passport validity matters. Transit requirements matter. Return tickets matter. Hotel confirmations matter. Insurance requirements matter. Everything matters, especially during international travel. The real lesson started later, weeks after the incident. Bilal researched travel mistakes extensively. Boarding denials, transit visa problems, passport issues, entry refusals, travel insurance disputes. And honestly, he discovered thousands of similar stories. Thousands. People denied boarding every year. Not because they lacked tickets, not because flights were canceled, because documentation requirements were misunderstood. That realization shocked him. He was not alone. Far from it. Many intelligent travelers make similar mistakes. Students, business professionals, families, tourists, anyone can miss details, especially when international regulations become complicated. That is why preparation matters. Real preparation. Not just booking flights, not just reserving hotels. Understanding rules, understanding requirements, understanding risks. Those steps matter just as much, maybe more. Bilal eventually corrected his documents, rebooked flights, adjusted plans, and completed the trip months later. But the experience changed him permanently. Every future trip became different. More research, more preparation, more caution, more awareness. Because one airport experience taught him lessons he would never forget. Today, he tells every traveler the same thing. Never assume, never guess, never rely on online comments alone. Verify everything directly. Passport validity, visa requirements, transit rules, insurance coverage, entry conditions, everything. Because international travel rewards preparation and punishes assumptions. Most travelers spend months planning vacations, but only minutes checking requirements. That imbalance creates risk, significant risk, and sometimes expensive consequences. Travel should create memories, not airport panic, not financial losses, not missed vacations. That is why awareness matters, preparation matters, and education matters. Before your next international trip, ask yourself one important question. Have you verified every requirement personally? Because one overlooked detail can stop a journey before it even begins. And honestly, that is a lesson many travelers learn far too late. Disclaimer: this story is presented for educational and travel awareness purposes. Immigration rules, airline policies, passport validity requirements, visa regulations, and insurance coverage vary by country, airline, nationality, and individual circumstances. Always verify official requirements with relevant authorities before travel. Subscribe to Global Policy Guide for travel safety, visa updates, insurance awareness, and real travel risk stories.